Mitterlehner is the MittGroup CEO, the Mitt blockchain CEO. Young guy, but he was seeing the wisdom of this at a very young age. Always good to have you, and thanks for coming back. Where are we on Bitcoin right now? A little bit south of 48,101 bucks a coin. It's volatile, but it's held up remarkably well. What's driving this?
Yeah, I think what you're seeing is it's transitioned from regular people on the internet just purchasing it that were essentially ahead of the game, as now you're seeing, major companies, major investors, Wall Street, hedge funds, and all these different groups are now not only interested, but they're starting to invest into it. And 3, 4, 5 years ago, maybe we weren't having this conversation on Fox News or maybe another network, whereas now it's caught the attention of worldwide investors across the country and across the world. And so what it's doing is it's steadily driving the price up, like you're saying, Neil. And if you see just over the cycle of Fox News, or the cycle of crypto and the cycle of everything, it's becoming something that people are getting behind, people are investing in, and they believe that it's something they can hold over the long haul.
Well, apparently that is the case. I was doing a breakdown of who's buying it, and to your point, 13% of investors find it to be a keen investment, but particularly young investors, 25% of millennial investors are dabbling in this. What do you make of that?
Yeah, well, kind of like what we discussed last time is you've seen millennials and younger generations being glued to their phones through social media, through all different types of news sources, and they've been ahead of the game. And so we're seeing those younger groups kind of have an advantage on this because they've been throughout crypto for the last 2 to 3 years. And so we're slowly seeing, major corporations, hedge funds, and maybe larger investors now starting to get into it, even though they're a little bit late. So it's all about knowledge. It's a curse of knowledge. And you're seeing people that's been into this for multiple years. And because of that, they're just essentially ahead of the game.
Is it money that they know they could risk losing? Or are they buoyed by, when a PayPal says in the UK this will be, accepted payment method there, maybe extend that to here? Could it be the fact that more ETFs are cropping up, or at least, applications for ETFs? A big hurdle is the SEC, of course, and that's right, driving it. What is it?
So if you're looking at millennial investors, I think they see the true potential and growth of it. So if you just look at Bitcoin, the reason why it's valued so high and people are predicting it to go a heck of a lot higher is because there's a limited supply of Bitcoin. And there's a slow amount of it being mined over the course of time. And so what's happened is it's going to naturally slowly drive the price up, very similar to gold. Now, when you're looking at a normal investor compared to maybe hedge funds, ETFs, Wall Street, maybe bigger investors, they're now seeing it as a legitimate currency and a legitimate future, because you're seeing, like what you're talking about, fintech companies such as PayPal, such as Square, and such as other companies and major corporations that are now enabling people across the globe to be able to trade Bitcoin, trade Ethereum, and trade other digital currencies. So that's proven that is legitimate, calls for those things. And I think that's what's transitioning right now, and that's a period that we're talking about, Neil, is like what you discussed just briefly, was now we're seeing the bigger corporations, the bigger money now getting involved because they're seeing the legitimacy of it. Retail investors and younger generations have really been predicting and seeing this coming for the last 3, 4 years. Now we're just slowly seeing it come into fruition.
In other words, it's too late to try to kill the baby in the crib, right? Now the baby is advanced, certainly past the baby stage, well past the toddler stage. But I am wondering whether people getting a little bit nosebleedy looking at Bitcoin, whether you look at Ethereum or Cardano or Tether or Dogecoin or some of these others that are a lot cheaper to get your hands on.
Right. Well, it just depends. It depends on someone's purchasing power. Great things like Ethereum's going to do fantastic. Cardano is going to be fantastic. Dogecoin's a little bit of a gamble, but I still think it's an investment. But keep in mind that I think we're still in the infancy stage, and $50,000 looks like a lot until it's $250,000. And then you're kicking yourself, wishing you would have put a couple $1,000s in. So you got to look at the grand scheme.
See those type of exponential growths then? Is that what you're looking at? That these pay dirt type of strategies could work out?
Absolutely. I mean, it's going to be volatile. This isn't going to be the first time that, Bitcoin hits a huge rally and then, dumps down a little bit. But if you just got to look at sheer market cap, I mean, the cryptocurrency market just cleared $2 trillion. It's going to clearly just continue to rise. I mean, there's going to be mishaps. There's going to be different things as far as the feds and regulation and different things like that. But if it even gets close to gold's market cap, the numbers are going to be exponential, and it's such in the infancy stage.
All right, Grant, thank you very, very